Alright, good evening. I didn't do a video last week with my offerings. I did my offerings, but I just didn't make a video. Sometimes I just can't remember, or I can't decide on which story I'm going to do. And I also got to be mindful that some of the stories could end up doxing myself. So, I mean, the people that, there are quite a few that know my name and things like that, but I like to keep those lives separate. So, kind of, you know what I mean. All right, so here we go. Hail to you, Zhao Gongming, and thank you. Please accept these offerings and add these values to my fortune that you may manifest it as you see fit. I do have a couple extra ingots that I grabbed today, and he asked for one earlier, so I grabbed an extra one, and so then I thought, well, I might as well do a variant of 3. So 3's big in Taoism, so here we go. All right. So hail and thank you, Zhao Gongming. Here, let me add some more. I just got out of a ritual with him, so the coal is still going. Yeah, mother. All right, here we go. So what story is it going to be today? Well, back before the war in Iraq kicked off, there were some of us that were building up defenses here and there, at least until they can get some actual engineers to come in and do their thing. So we were also doing, pulling guard duty in some of these places and things like that. And so you kind of have a tendency to see some strange things in places like that where there have been massacres and mass casualties and things like that. And there were a bunch of Kuwaitis killed in that seaport, especially when Saddam took it over, and the bullet holes are still in the concrete walls. At least they were when I was there. So this would have been early 2000s, and so there are a bunch of buildings over there, and mostly think of them kind of like trailers or modulars, kind of similar to that. Old stuff, not well maintained, you could say. We would have to go into them and clear them out just to make sure that nothing was being brought in there. That there were a lot of abandoned and empty buildings there, and we didn't want them sneaking supplies and people in and things like that to sabotage stuff, because that was a real concern. And so I remember one night we were, me and a buddy of mine who's a sheriff's deputy, and we were on duty that night. And we're sitting up in this tower, and we keep noticing that we're seeing these people moving around inside some of these buildings. And we're like, God damn it, So now we got to call that shit in, and sometimes it would be the migrant workers, because they had a lot of migrant workers there. We called them TCNs, third country nationals. Usually, you could basically say they were slave labor, and it wouldn't be far off. So anyway, so me and my buddy there were on duty that night, and we see these people move around, and it struck us as strange. And the reason it struck us as strange is because we had been in that building just like the other day, like a day or two ago, really, really recent. So we remembered that specific building, and we were watching these people go back and forth in front of this window, which would have been like the kitchen area, right? And the thing about it is, Is that wasn't possible. So, and the reason it wasn't possible is because it didn't have a fucking floor, right? There was no floor on this, in that building right there. They had like the slats, you know, the run, did like the support, they were, it was aluminum, and there were aluminum slats that you use for flooring that you would then bolt and anchor the plywood or whatever they were using, because it was long gone, on top of that. But these were like every couple feet apart, and they were only, you know, a couple inches wide. There's no way, right in those spots, somebody was walking. And yet we were seeing people walking back and forth. And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and we're both looking at each other like, are you fucking seeing this? And so, like, Jesus Christ. And so we called in, and we would rotate where we were, you know, going and looking at places, but everybody knew that these buildings basically had no floors in them at all. And it was in one of these areas that they had basically lined up a whole bunch of people at that seaport and then just machine and gunned them up against a wall. Shit like you'd see from like World War II or something. That's kind of what they were doing. And, yeah, I mean, we had no... Zhao Gongming, these are for you. And we had no... Well, what the hell are you supposed to do? Right. So we call it in. Gun truck comes over, you know, and they're checking it out. Of course, they're like, yeah, quit fucking with us, haha. And we're like, no, man. No. They were moving. We were watching them. Because we'd see them going back and forth. We didn't hear anything. It's not like we were hearing them have conversations. But we would just see these figures move back and forth. You know, to, like they were going dropping something to the sink or something. You know, it was just real... And there wasn't even a sink there. We just saw plumbing, so we assumed that's where the sink was. And there were a couple of buildings like that over there, where something, for some reason, was walking around. Hail, Zhao Gongming. And, you know, we really don't have... We still don't have a good reason for it. I mean, it still doesn't make sense to me. Even now it makes more sense than it ever would have, right? But back then, I'd closed all my stuff off as best I could. It didn't stop a whole lot of weird shit from happening, but still. And yeah, so we saw that a couple times at the seaport. And we were on guard duty there. And, you know, and they were always abandoned buildings. I don't recall us ever seeing them in buildings that were still in use. I don't know if that would really make a difference or not, but I do know that that's the area where a whole bunch of them were massacred. And I don't know what nationalities were massacred more than others or not, but it was probably these third country nationals, because they were the ones providing the actual labor. So, a lot of weird shit going on in those places in the world, man. A lot of weird shit. I mean, we saw stuff like that in the ziggurat too, but I think I already touched on that some. Yeah, there are places where I would expect to see it and didn't. Like on the Highway of Death, which was just a highway again when I got there. That was before my time. Before the, I guess you could say, Gulf War II or OIF happened. So I didn't see anything going up there. Of course, we were a little shocked because only one building of 3 was left standing, and some of those settlements and stuff when we came through, day 4 of the ground war. So, alrighty, a couple more pieces, and it's done. Hail to you, Zhao Gongming, and thank you.